To just clarify which Del Rosa you're referring to, because Philip and I have the same last name as well.
Oh, sorry, Philip. Thank you. That actually was one of my
Philip,
questions.
So Philip Del Rosa, I'm a direct lineal descendant of the tribe.
One second. I'm gonna start the question and then we'll, right?
Oh, yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
We'll
Okay.
edit that up.
Okay. So, Chairman Del Rosa, Philip, I'll start with you. Could you take me through how you got into this position and how long you've been with the tribe?
I've been a member of the tribe since I was 18, since I became an adult, and that was in 1989, I believe. I'm a direct lineal descendant, and I've been the chairman since probably 2002 or so, somewhere around in there.
Mm-hmm. And then, Darren, what about you?
Yeah, Darren Rosa. I was vice chairman, and I've been the vice chairman since 2002.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. And then, how long have you been with the tribe?
About 2002, or somewhere right in there.
Okay. Philip, how did you get into your position? What's the process of that?
Well, I mean, I was voted in, but my father tragically passed away, and so
Sorry.
I had to kind of step in to that position there. So that's how I became. And then throughout the years, just been voted in as chairman.
So was your father the previous chairman?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So is that something that like you just kind of watched growing up with your father?
Yeah.
Okay. And then with the election process, how often is there a re-election?
We have them, Darren, every 2 years, I believe.
Every 2 years. Okay. All right. Okay. Is there anything that you guys want to say before I start off on my questions?
No.
Okay. All right. So this question is for Philip. Chairman Del Rosa, a statewide report came out in the California Globe, published specific allegations from your sister, Wendy Del Rosa, claiming that you and Mr. Rose have diverted $12.375 million in state revenue sharing trust funds and over $8.6 million in federal contract funds for personal use. What is your direct response to these mathematical figures?
It is a complete false, there's no backup to that. That's a false statement. She does this about every 3 or 4 years, and it's yeah.
Is this the first time? Is this the first time that it got picked up by a? I don't want to say a major media company, but by a media entity?
Oh, I think there's been some stuff online before, but yeah, no, I mean, local paper. I think the Sacramento Bee picked something up. I don't know. God, what Darren was that 10 years ago or so, probably.
Yeah.
It was quite small, if I'm remembering correctly. Would you be able to provide the Modoc County Record with evidence of recent audits showing where these funds were actually spent?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry. Can I request clarification on that question?
Yeah.
So we can provide proof that we have audited financials. We cannot disclose what those audits contain.
Okay.
Just that the audits were completed without finding, meaning that all of the funds were sent how they were supposed to be spent.
No, yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's great.
And that's done to a third-party audit company, I'm assuming. Accurate?
Yeah.
Okay.
So to follow up on that, there also was a report specifically accusing you of using $4 million of tribal proceeds to purchase a private vacation home in Hawaii. Did you purchase this property? And if so, how do you reassure Modoc County residents and tribal members that no tribal or gaming revenues were used to finance it?
Let's see. It's false. There is a vacation home, but there was a loan from a bank. No money from any tribal entity has been spent on that.
Okay. There was a home in Hawaii, right?
There is. Darren, do you want to kind of expand on that one?
It's not really. I'd rather keep
Really?
it private.
Okay. Okay. So Mr. Rose, Darren, I'm trying to keep up on the numbers. Wendy Del Rosa provided the media with a financial statement showing that her personal John Hancock retired funds were transferred to you and Chairman Del Rosa after you appointed yourselves as trustees of a newly created tribal 401k plan in October 2017. What was the legal and administrative basis for this transfer, and where are those retirement funds today?
The funds were returned. They weren't returned to Philip and I. They were returned to the tribe. And the I think it was it Charles Schwab? I think it was that's held that account.
Mm-hmm.
And when we learned of that account, when we did audit of it, the fund came out and was invested. Were invested illegally, and then with the investigation that Charles Schwab did, they contacted us through and with their attorneys, and they had decided that it was to be returned to the tribe in the account that it came from.
Okay. So that was kind of like a, yeah, go ahead.
And the funds still remain in the possession of the tribe.
Okay.
So the funds were illegally invested, and then in that audit, you found the audit that came out, and then you guys basically withdrew those funds and put them back into the tribe. That's just to clarify. That's what happened, right? Illegally invested in the. Go for it.
We didn't.
The investment account had to be closed. They contributed to it outside of that account type parameters. And when the investment company discovered this, the account had to be closed and the funds had to be returned, like Darren said, to the origin of the fund. And so they were sent back to the tribe. The contributions made to that account far exceeded what was supposed to go into an account of that nature. The account was being closed regardless. That was not at the directives
Gotcha.
of the tribe.
There was no proactive action on your guys' end. Correct.
There was a what? I'm sorry.
There's no proactive, like this is not a proactive thing that you guys did. This is a result of of basically an audit, and then the funds were returned once the audit had turned out that this investment account was not being properly managed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to move on to the tobacco litigation and personal contempt fines. Is there anything that we've talked about previously that you guys want to expand more on before we move on? Just with the, what Wendy said, the home, the revenue sharing trust. Are we good to move on?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so Mr. Rose, Darren, the Eastern District of California has held you in civil contempt multiple times for violating a preliminary injunction against distributing unstamped cigarettes through Azuma Corporation, resulting in personal fines of $68,000 in August of 2025 and $136,000 in October of 2025. How do you intend to pay these cumulative $204,000 personal fines, and are any tribal or Desert Rose Casino revenues being used to cover your legal defense or contempt penalties?
Oh, there's a lot. Can you take those one at a time?
Oh, yeah. So this is pertaining to there was fines for unstamped cigarettes through Azuma Corporation, which resulted in personal fines of $68,000 in August of 2025 and $136,000 in October of 2025. How do you intend to pay these cumulative $204,000 personal fines?
How do I intend to pay?
Yes. Is this like a would this be coming out of the revenues from Desert Rose Casino or anything out of the tribe?
No, it has to come out of my own account.
And with this like unstamped cigarettes, how does something like that happen?
Well, that's a legal question, and our view, which is Azuma, is that those tax stamp cigarettes don't apply to our business model.
Can you elaborate on don't apply to your business model a little bit more? What does that mean?
Well, we don't do business in the state of California. We just do business with the tribes.
I see what you're saying. Okay. And then the stamped cigarettes, how is that not relevant then? I guess that's what I'm trying to figure out.
That's a California tax law.
Okay, and then because you guys are selling them on Indian land, it's not it's that means that it's not enforceable. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
but you're still paying a fine for it.
Can I pay a fine for it?
Yeah, you have to pay a fine for that, correct? Still, even though it's not a state sanctioned thing, it's done on Indian land. You're saying it's not relevant. There still is a fine being paid for this non-relevant thing.
No, it was the case hasn't started yet. We're talking about let me hang on a second. Okay, we have an injunction and pending a lawsuit, and the fine was an interpretation of the injunction.
Sure.
So in other words, the injunction read one way, we changed the business model, and that's what the fines were. They didn't like the fact that the judge didn't like the fact that we changed our business model, and figured that so yeah, that's probably about the easiest way to answer that.
Understandable. And so are you fighting this right now then, or are you just going to take the fine and move on?
That's kind of in my next question. So in October 2025, you filed a motion to clarify the preliminary injunction, asking the court to exempt face-to-face on reservation transactions where employees of the Desert Rose Casino and Airfuels physically pick up cigarettes at the Azuma facility. Why is this specific local exemption so critical, and what percentage of Azuma's business relies on sales directly to Desert Rose Casino? Would you like me to repeat the question?
Yeah, repeat it. Go ahead.
Okay. Why is this specific local exemption so critical?
Well, the reason why we're disputing this with the state of California is the state of California got us in the basis of the lawsuit is a PACT Act violation. The PACT Act is a federal law. And in the interpretation of the federal law, our interpretation is because our business model doesn't do delivery sales, the PACT Act doesn't apply. And that's what the case is about.
Okay. And then the second part of that question was, what percentage of Azuma's business relies on sales directly to their Desert Rose Casino?
That would just be a guess because we don't keep that kind of track of what percentage it is.
Would it be a high percentage, would you say?
It would be low to medium.
Low to medium. Okay.
How about let's do this at north of 50 or under 50%?
Under 50%.
Okay.
Okay. So this one's going to be for Del Rosa, Chairman Del Rosa. Many Modoc County residents still remember the July 2015 federal raid that shut down a $12,000 plant marijuana cultivation facility at the Tribal Event Center, just 100 yards from Desert Rose Casino. At the time, your sister Wendy alleged that this was a private, unauthorized endeavor that bypassed tribal controls. Looking back, what is your perspective on that raid? And how do you answer critics who say the Rancheria has a pattern of hosting high-risk, legally non-compliant commercial ventures near local public spaces?
Well, we definitely do not do anything illegal. The raid, it's been so long. Did you say there was like 12,000 plants or something? Is that what you said? There wasn't even 1/4 of that. How she got that done is she had said we had all these plants, millions in cash and firearms, and when the raid happened, there was none of that. In fact, there's been no charges. There was nothing that came from that.
And that was right. That was when they were letting the tribes finally get into medical marijuana, but we had to do it certain ways, and we were doing it within all of the reasons that met the criteria to be a legal grow. It wasn't illegal. So, and Wendy, it looks to me like Wendy went in as the, as a person, a representative of the tribe from the business committee, and alleged all these false facts to get people to act on for her benefit, because she was butthurt over the fact that she was losing court cases and control.
Okay. So, Chairman Del Rosa, the business committee held a former order to show cause hearing in November of 2024 regarding Wendy Del Rosa and Wayne Smith's unauthorized withdrawals from Plumas Bank and their mismanagement of EPA grant funds, which led to their 3-year federal debarment. Now that their debarment expired in July of 2024, what is the status of those funds?
Well, we've been trying to get an answer from Wendy for almost 10 years on those funds, probably longer than that. We keep trying to have her, we invite her to meetings, we notify her of it, and she won't even say yes or no. She will not give us an accounting. She wants to know accounting of money, then we have no problem doing that. But in order to do that, she has to participate, and she just will not participate. It has probably been a good 12 years since she has probably even spoken to Darren or myself. We have served her with papers. We've emailed. We've had, we CC the Bureau, the Bureau of Indian Affairs, let them know. We've offered to have her set up the time, a place that she wants, and she is not answering. She's just not doing anything. They will not answer to those funds. The disbarment, I believe Wayne Smith is still disbarred.
Okay.
He is federally debarred for another year.
Do you mind sharing those? Could you forward those emails that has is it the IBA attached to it, where you're asking Wendy to show up and she's just non-respondent? You have that? You can forward us.
We have that correspondence where she's invited to meetings, but it goes back over about 12 years. It's kind of a huge volume of information. I would be happy to forward, as it pertains to the order to show cause meeting, where, we even offered to set up and did set up, because the meeting was held in Reno. And it was in November, in the event of inclement weather conditions, to set up via Zoom so that they could attend remotely, which they opted to not do. All of the meeting invitations, however, I can forward you the emails, of course, but there is a lot of them. It goes back a very long ways. So it would just be up to you guys if you want to go through that volume of information. And as it pertains to the question, the debarment was issued as a result of their misappropriation of the designated federal funding. Lifting the debarment doesn't have a direct correlation to the money. It's not like it releases money or anything like that. Their actions put the tribe on the hook for those funds, even though we were able to prove that those funds went into Wayne and Wendy's personal accounts.
Okay. So, yeah.
Do you have a copy? I'm not following how much information you have.
Sure. So what I'm looking for is that it sounds like in a short context, it sounds like there has been communication made. There have been attempts to kind of basically solve this issue or kind of, remedy it in some sort of way. And it sounds like you as a party is looking to make this communication happen. And then the other side, Wendy and her party, is not respondent. And so we're just looking for, is there an email that says hey, let's meet at this time or whatever it's going to be. And then there's just no response or her declining it and saying, we're not doing that.
Yes, there absolutely is. And there's never been a response. She does not respond. And as it pertains to the order to show cause hearing, she was physically served papers at her home,
sure.
As well as electronic notification via email to her, to Wayne, and to who they claim is their legal representation.
Okay.
I'd like to add something to that. When we sent out notices, we were trying to settle and come to the conclusion of all the finance trial. And prior to the hearing in Reno, I was contacted through my attorney, through her attorney, wanting to talk about a settlement or negotiate a settlement. So I went to a meeting. She didn't show up, but her attorney showed up through a phone call, and I was in my attorney's office. And all her only goal to settlement was she offered to give me a lot of money and a lot of control, but the terms that she wanted me to turn on Philip and start voting with her and in exchange for a lot of money, and I wouldn't do it.
Is that illegal to do?
Yes.
Okay. I'm assuming that's a yes. Okay. If you could, after this is over, forward us one or two of those emails. We don't need 1,000. We don't need your entire history. Just basically an email that says that that a good faith effort was made to basically resolve this, or at least communicate about it, and then the other party just to not move forward with that good faith meeting.
Wait, what part did you say was illegal?
The part that I said it was illegal would be her paying you off to basically have her go in cahoots with you on the voting. Like, I don't know Indian rules. I don't know the tribal rules. I don't know those.
Well, no, the payoff was wasn't in cash, it was control.
Okay, but
And
you
I
had
don't
said
know
a
if
lot
that
of
would
money
be-
though. You had said a lot of money earlier, so I'm assuming there was some sort of monetary exchange, or
Oh,
is
It
no,
being
was,
in
hey,
control
hey,
come with money?
hey,
the
Darren,
value,
I remember this. She offered you like 70% of all revenue of the tribe, and she would take 30 or something. Do you remember that?
yeah, it was, yes, that's what it was. It was revenue that we would control, and she would give me the biggest part of it.
How does that work? I mean, this is not part of the question. Like, so I mean, like, we're just kind of getting into a thing. So, like, let's say you're talking and you're like, well, I'll give you 70% of the revenue. Like, how does that work? Like, I mean, is all of the money kind of like, like, let's say there's $10, hypothetically speaking. Can you say, hey, I'll give you 7, I'll take 3 if we do this deal, and like that's how it works? Like, I mean, is that just kind of what it is? It's just like this pot of money that basically you can split up however you want.
Yeah, it's controlled through the business committee, and there's
Sure.
the constitution of the tribe. There's 3 people on the business committee, so if 2 votes controls.
Gotcha. Okay. So, and there's only 3 of you guys, I'm assuming, voting. And that you just said so. 2,
Yeah.
3. So two's your majority. Okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Okay, go for it, Chelsea.
We do also have she put in writing that offer, when she was trying to get Darren to vote on her side. And it is worth mentioning because I think it speaks to a pattern of behavior for her, that the only thing that she wanted was our property and our trucking company here in Medford. That
Okay.
her brother and I and our children live on, and the trucking company that he built and operates. That's
But
all she
Darren's trucking
wanted.
company has nothing to do with the tribe, correct? That's Darren. That's Phil's thing, right? Not Darren. That's Phil's thing,
No,
right?
that's the tribe.
Oh, so the tribe owns the
tribe,
trucking company
the
too.
tribe
Oh,
owns it.
okay.
Mhm. And Philip, in his capacity as the chairman, that's his correlation to the company there, but he operates that company every day.
Okay, so he's
and
like the
it's like when
CEO, but it's an owned entity by the tribe.
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
but
Are
that's all she wanted.
all of you in Medford?
The trucks that I personally bought myself, I put into the tribe. So I've
Oh, so you-
invested my hard work and some of my assets into the tribe.
Mhm.
Okay.
Are all of you guys in Medford?
No.
No.
No. Oh, okay.
Is anybody in Alturas?
Oh my goodness.
No.
Oh, okay.
We do come down quite often.
Okay.
Not full time. Yes.
Well, I was just thinking of the fact that those of you that are in Medford are operating the trucking company every day, just like Philip had said. So, what's that trucking company called?
Palm White Trucking.
Okay, I don't know if I got that when we first got on the phone. Okay. Sorry guys, I had like a coughing fit.
Yeah, Darren and I have Darren's invested quite heavily in the tribe too, and it's not so much for us as for our children.
Mm-hmm.
So I think other people, the 2 that we've talked about, if they could get their hands on it, they would probably sell everything and pocket the money. There's a pattern of that. So but we're not investing in ourselves, we're investing in the future generations of the tribe, I guess would be a proper way to say it.
We have some questions that follow up with that. I don't know if we're there yet, but we do have questions that involve that. So, Chelsea, what you keep the train choo-chooing.
Okay. So moving on. I'm so sorry. Whew. So I'm moving towards now in our interview, moving towards like local and Desert Rose Casino. So I'll take this over to you, Sarah. So the Modoc County readers are highly interested in the health of Desert Rose Casino. which has become a major employer and sponsor of community events like the Rotary Duck Race. The casino has historically suffered temporary closures due to peak leadership feuds. Can you please reassure our readers and your employees of the casino's current operational stability?
Yes, absolutely. Both the casino and I think I can speak for all of us on the call when I say the tribe in general, are running better than they ever have. There's always, hiccups. As you know, we had the arson fire. We've had cases of employee theft, things of that nature. But as it relates to the tribe and what's going on with the tribe and if or how that is affecting the tribe's businesses, it's not. Philip and Darren are doing a wonderful job. We worked very hard. I think Philip touched on it earlier in the call that the casino, I know a lot of people have, they think of a casino and, you think of Las Vegas and, New Jersey and all of those places. And as we all know, that's not how Modoc County works. It's a very rural area, very limited customer and employee base. The casino really is far more a benefit to the community than it is to the tribe. We work really hard to provide a good wage. We offer full benefits. And, except for these outside factors not pertaining to the tribe, like I mentioned, arson and any other things that we've got dealing with, we've got some active cases going currently because of those situations. But overall, the casino is, it's running really well and remains unaffected thanks to Philip and Darren and them being proactive in handling these tribal situations. It really prevents those situations from seeping over and affecting business.
Okay.
And
See,
I'd like to add some you part of that question talked about casino closure. We've never had a closure order, a legal closure order that makes us close. The only reason why it was closed is because when Wendy didn't get the decision that she wanted to in federal court, she raided the bank accounts and everything she could out of the casino. Wayne Smith and Craig Marcus took all the money out of the bank, out of the casino and the bank. So the closure was, and the bank. So the closure was just enough time for us to gather up some more. We had to have a certain amount of money before we can open back up, and that took us a little bit. But that was never a closure. It was just us scraping up some money so that we had enough legally to operate the casino.
Choice by the tribe and the operators to do so to get it back into operating order. That's what you're saying?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. With a county population of under 9,000, local businesses relationships are incredibly tight and important. How do you, Sarah, I'll start with you. How do you view the tribe's ongoing relationship with local institutions like Plumas Bank, where many of the contested transactions and capital flights took place in 2014? And how are you working to rebuild institutional trust in Alturas?
Well, we do not currently have a banking relationship with Plumas Bank.
Okay.
And as you know, the area is very limited as far as what is offered for banking institutions. So we don't focus our relationship on the bank. We really focus our relationship on local organizations, the schools, sports, sponsorships and programs, things that we view and that the tribe views and directs to better the community. And that doesn't happen, with a bank. It happens with Rotary and, you know, like I mentioned, the schools, and we try to help out local families, you know, when they go through hardship. So that's really the focus of building those relationships, is within the community, not so much as it pertains to the banking institutions.
Okay. Okay, and then kind of going back
Well, before we get
here.
into that, so you're not banking at all in Alturas then, is what it sounds like.
Correct.
Okay.
So Philip, going back, a question that I wanted to kind of clarify. One of the things that Wendy had stated was that you're previously unanimously removed from your position from tribal membership for serious corruption, including embezzlement of tribal funds and theft of tribal property totaling to millions of dollars. Despite this, you're reinstated and overrode the tribe's own actions. What do you have to say about that situation? Do you remember this, or what Wendy could be possibly talking about?
Oh yeah, they illegally tried to oust me, and it was illegal for our Constitution. I prevailed, and she did not.
I can add to that also, is that this was a scheme that Wayne Smith came up with to get rid of Philip, and he didn't like Philip from the very beginning. I can remember business committee meetings where he was present as the tribal administrator position, and Philip asked him a question and he didn't like it, and he told Philip to F off. And I couldn't believe the disrespect that he showed. But what he did was he hired a law firm to do an audit on our finances, supposedly to protect under the guise of protection in case we were to ever have to face a lawsuit. And he hired a company to do what he calls a forensic audit on all the tribe's funds. And I sat in on interviews. Philip had interviews. We had to answer for all the banks, all the tribe's finances, and anything that they couldn't put in a category, they just put it in Philip's category and published this document as supposed to be a forensic audit, and it was not a forensic audit. And that's what Wayne used to bring Philip up on charges for those funds. And
so
and
all
there was
miscellaneous.
Yeah.
So all miscellaneous funds were basically pooled into Phil's circle.
Yes.
Okay.
But he also, at that point too, we had found out that he told them not to look at certain bank accounts. And there was money that was directly funneled into Wayne Smith's personal accounts, but it was supposed to be a forensic audit, but he told them not to look into certain bank accounts. And with that being said, he ran this around being a forensic audit, trying to get me prosecuted, everything, and nobody would act on it. They found no findings, and I think it was the district attorney there in Alturas, he even threw it out.
Yeah, there was no legal proceedings. The only proceedings that he did was he did a tribal. He came up with a tribal hearing. That's what he's referring to. Is he was supposed to be found guilty of all that fraud, but it was his own drummed up hearing is what it was. Really, it was not a hearing.
And I had answered every question that was sent over to me. We sent it over, answered it fully, but as Darren could say, Wayne, excuse me, already had the ballots check marked as me. He already had the outcome marked for them to sign.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So I kind of wanted to clarify and see kind of at what, I mean, obviously, Philip, this is your sister. At what point was there a pivotal moment, do you feel like, in your guys' relationship? Was it 2002?
No, I can, you don't even, I can tell you exactly when.
Really?
We had I can't tell you the exact day, but I mean, it was about 2013. Actually, Sarah probably has the exact day. We had a prior little disagreement amongst the tribe. We fixed that. Okay. And we all got together, and it was Wayne Smith. The problem was Wayne Smith, my sister agreed to pay him. It was a strong, like $400,000 or $450,000. And I was like, there is no way I'm going to sign that. I know Darren was neither. And he was listed administrator. I mean, administrators at huge tribes in New York or so, I mean, they make $80,000. So we were on a phone conference, and I had came up with what I thought was a fair deal. You know, I would have my own administrator. Wendy could have Wayne as administrator, and Darren could have one. And those administrators would talk amongst each other and see, you know, maybe come to us with ideas. They kind of flush it out. And when I had mentioned that, that's when Darren had told you earlier, Wayne told me to F off. Because Wayne wanted all the money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wayne was losing his house. So that right there was that's the last time that me and my sister had ever, I think, really even spoken. Everything, we were very close up until that point, but she wanted Wayne, and Wayne, he did a lot for her. That was the time.
Yep.
Okay. So this is yeah. Oh, I there my echo. I was like, I thought it was Sarah. I was like, yes. So this is for both of you. Del Rosa, I'll have you answer it first. So with how much that has gone on, you know, for, I mean, I think you said 12 years, if not more. One question I have is why do you stay in your position with everything that's been going on and how much drama has occurred? Why haven't you decided to step down?
For one, I'm not a quitter. For two, this is my family. I want to protect it for future generations, protect it from people like Wayne Smith.
And Darren, what would you say?
Look, we're a very small tribe. So, you know, if I step down, who's going to take my spot?
How many are in the tribe total? Guys, how many are total in the tribe?
We don't answer that very freely because you know, some people could use that number against us and create another dispute. So, you know, it's just, we're very small.
Okay. I mean, the reason I ask that is if you say, hey, if I step down, nobody's going to do it. I think the natural question would be, how many people are in the tribe then? Right? You know, if that's what you're going to say.
Or it could mean that there has to be somebody that's qualified to do it.
Okay. If you want to rephrase it like
that. If I may just add to their answers as well, just from an administrative standpoint and having been with the tribe through all of these things that we're discussing, stepping down for either one of them would also potentially appear to coincide with all of these things that Wayne and Wendy have said about them for all of these years and going out of their way to cause problems. I mean, Wendy has tried relentlessly to have her own brother put in prison. But the one thing that they have failed to do through all of this is produce any actual evidence. Not one time, not in 2012 when she refers to Philip being recalled. And I use that term loosely because, like he stated, it was done illegally and not in accordance to the constitution of the tribe. But up to this very day, with this article in the California Globe, aside from what Wayne Smith drafts in his personal office, and despite what he may say, he is not an attorney, nor has he ever been one, not one time have they supplied proof for their accusations. So there's no reason for either Philip or Darren to go anywhere because they haven't done anything wrong. Not only have they not done anything wrong, but as I said before, I've been with the tribe since 2008, and this is the longest, smoothest running that the tribe has experienced since I've been there in that time. So I think it's also very important to note that while they put a lot of information out there, it is entirely baseless. There is no fact to it whatsoever.
Wonderful. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
like,
Tara.
and what I was referring to earlier was that our attorney prepared a response back to the Globe and to a response back for media. And my question was to you, the media, have you seen that the letter that he responded to, where it actually shows not just allegations, but it actually shows the money? Have you seen those documents?
Is that the most recent one that you sent to us that has your guys' emblem on the top?
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of these questions are derived out of that. So our questions are derived out of the California Globe article that was written, that obviously Wendy was attached to, and then what we cross-referenced that with was what you guys sent us with those checks and everything that you guys basically, we're not bringing up the checks because it's hard to do that. And, at the end of the day, we're not here to talk about, those specific checks. That's Wendy. Wendy will have her time if she wants it. No, yeah, we did cross-reference that. And I believe the only thing that we've seen from from your guys' attorney, unless that was an attorney letter, was the cease and desist to the California Globe.
Yes.
Yes,
the cease and desist, and then the additional response that I sent you. Yes.
Yeah, so that's what we cross-referenced. All these questions are coming from that.
Though I refer to that because, like what Sarah was saying, that everything they allege, they have shown there's nothing to prove anything of any one of their allegations. What we answered back was we could show, federal funds that went into their personal accounts that were taken from the tribe, and the tribe had to make good on all that, the problems that EPA grant caused us, which was a lot more than just the money gone. It had it put us in a serious situation for getting any federal money unless we cleared that up, which was quite a task. And so we provide those to show that there's a pattern of them alleging wrongdoing from us, but really they're the ones that were doing the wrongdoings against the tribe.
Yeah.
Do you care
Funny how that works.
Do you ever make that letter available, open letter?
What was that?
Say that again?
Yeah, that letter that you sent us, that third one that had the checks, the check images on it. Do you care if we make that available as an open letter, meaning we put that on as is on our site?
We would request that you do so, actually.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. In its entirety.
Right.
Yeah.
In its entirety with the checks and everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Okay. Just confirming that.
Okay.
One thing
You guys have been so patient. Go
when
ahead.
it pertains to Darren and I here about Wendy, we've never told Wendy she's not a member of the tribe. We've never excluded her from anything she refuses. In our capacity, she is still the recognized secretary treasurer of the business committee. She just refuses to participate.
Yeah, so we're going to give her the opportunity to do this as well. Whether she does it or not, it's going to be up to her. But it's just fair. It's equal.
She won't do it without Wayne Smith, I'll tell you.
Sure, if she doesn't, we'll do the same thing we did there as we did here. Yeah, so we just want to clarify that. But yeah, thank you. Are there any other questions, Chelsea?
I'd like to add too, the same thing. Wayne Smith was the author of all these problems amongst our tribe. Like 100%, he was the mastermind behind it, and he's also done this to another tribe that he's currently working for. To the T, he has done this to another and totally broke up another whole family for his own benefit.
Is he part of your tribe, or is he just some random?
He's not a part of our tribe. No, he actually, you know what? No, he did. There was a document, wasn't there, Darren, where he was a member of our tribe that they voted him in or something?
Yeah.
They had discussed bringing him in along with Vi, actually. But no, he's just a former employee, a former tribal administrator.
Okay.
And you can do your background on him if you do your research.
Yeah,
you'll
no,
find
I'll
out
look
who
into
Wayne
that.
is.
Yeah.
Sure, if Wendy
That's
comes, like you
interesting.
said, if Wendy comes with him, we'll do our due diligence.
What's that?
If Wendy winds up coming with him, we'll do our due diligence on that.
Yeah. Look at the Time Magazine article on him. You'll love that one.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Thank you.
So this is the last one. So I kind of wanted to ask, what are you guys hoping to get out of this? Move forward your goal for 2026 for the tribe, for Desiro's Casino.
Well, we're currently right now in the process of building a new casino.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's we're not doing a traditional loan. We're trying to pay for this as we go.
Okay.
And just we always take pride in ourselves, helping the community out. That's big for all of us.
Definitely.
Anybody else want to add to that? Is this the last question? Or is that
It is. No, that's the last question.
I think that pretty much sums it up, as well as, to just once and for all put these allegations to bed. It takes copious amounts of time and resources. Anytime attorneys are involved, that's all money that could be going back into tribal businesses, which do benefit the communities that they're in. And instead they're going to legal fees because Wayne and Wendy continue putting these awful accusations out there on an even, each time they come back, it's kind of a bigger scale. We can't just sit back and let that go unanswered. So the hope also is to address this and make it final, so that the tribe doesn't have to continue to endure this, and that Philip and Darren's names aren't out there tied to baseless information, and that the focus can then be on these businesses that the tribe has built, like I said, to benefit the communities that they're in, which are very small. I think the casino is one of, if not the largest private employer in Modoc County. That's what the tribe wants the focus to be, is on those types of things, and not having to deal with these legalities.
Okay. Yeah, and that's all I have. If there's anything else you guys want to clarify or let be known. But other than that, I greatly appreciate you guys meeting with us and providing clarification.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
AJ, thank you guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.